Hello and welcome to Headliners. It's your first look at Friday's newspapers. I'm your host, Andrew Doyle. Tonight, I'm joined by the very talented and handsome Leo Kearse and also Stephen Allen. Are you both OK?
We've been sarcastic there.
No, I was bigging you up to let him down.
I think because you're a comedian, that's a joke, and I'm not.
I think it's a joke.
I'm not actually, whatever it was, the nice
As long as we're all agreeing I'm handsome, then we can carry on with this.
I was trying to imply that you weren't. That was the joke, but maybe we shouldn't analyse the jokes. We should just tell the jokes. What do you think, Leo?
I agree.
You're actually offended now, aren't you? I can see. Well,
I think it's a hate crime as well. I think we should get some laws on this.
Well, you know what? We're going to talk a bit about hate crimes for comedy in a while. But let's start by looking at those front pages. We've got the Daily Telegraph first. On Friday, it's leading with GPs next in line for PM's cash handouts. The Daily Mail is running with so much for an economic crisis. The Times has got ministers favouring unions over pensioners. The Guardian is leading with two-tier system. Record A-level results highlight regional divide. And the Daily Express, surely no need for tax hikes with our growing economy. And finally, we've got the Daily Star. Excellent article. Man-hating ghost dolls, terrifying rampage. Can't wait to get to that one. Those were your front pages. Right, we're going to kick off with the front cover of the Daily Mail and the very beautiful Leo Kearse. What do you think?
They say so much for an economic crisis. They've gone further. They're being sarcastic, like you were when you said I was handsome. So the UK economy is the fastest growing in the G7. Although, to put that in context, the economies in the G7 haven't really been growing very fast. They're the sort of biggest nations, the best nations or whatever. And is it Europe? Is it Europe? Is it the world? I've no idea. There's been an expansion of... I mean, it can't be growing faster than America. But
it's doing all right. You know, you remember, like, before the ONS decided to revise its whole statistics and it realised, actually, we're doing all right since the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that bad.
This always happens. They always say, the ONS and all the other left-wing quangos and bureaucracies always say, oh, the British economy's doing so bad and it's all because of the Tories, me. And then when the actual figures come out, they have to revise it to show that we're actually doing much better. So there's been an expansion of the economy of 1.3% since the start of the year. So it outpaces the US. We're doing better than America, incredibly. But the Chancellor still insists she'll have to raise taxes because they've got a huge communist state to pay for.
Is this for the 20 billion black hole that she couldn't notice before? She didn't know about it, did she?
She had no idea it was there. No. But the one thing I will say is we've had huge levels of immigration over the past few years. So that fuels GDP, that increases GDP. Our productivity is declining. And I should imagine, I haven't seen the actual figures for GDP per capita, but I should imagine that's declining as well. But our productivity is declining, which is a real issue because we've got mass immigration, because people can come in and do jobs for cheaply. There's no incentive for people to invest capital in, technological solutions.
Well, there's a lot of non-productive people who grew up here as well.
Exactly, yeah, because the jobs aren't paying well enough to encourage them to do the jobs.
Steve, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, the most recent figures, April to June, 0.6%. So as much as I love the headline, so much for economic crisis. Oh, 0.6%, party time. It's not that, but yeah, it's just because it's better than other ones that are worse. Right. Plus, we did take a bit of a slapping during the lockdowns, and that means your numerator and denominators change. Just to get a bit nerdy on the maths, we can grow faster because we lost so much ground.
Yes.
It's like if you boast about quadrupling 2 and then compare it to like someone who doubles 3, you go, oh, we quadrupled. But no, if you've got a higher number, then a smaller increase is better.
But things are never as bad as people say, are they? You know, we haven't had this massive crash that everyone said we would, you know? Everyone sort of predicted that after Brexit.
We avoided a recession in the last quarter thanks to Taylor Swift. So
how was she involved?
That was a weird story where apparently her being around and the concerts meant more people spent money in hotels, which somehow...
Oh, I thought you meant she was mates with the Chancellor.
That also probably is... You know, she can do anything. Pretty much,
of course.
But I think 0.6% over a few months is actually quite a lot for a developed economy.
But from a number that was smaller than it should have been and would have been if we hadn't have locked down in that way. So just to boast, like we've really improved since a really small number. You've got to remember that small number.
Yeah. OK. Well, we're going to move on to the next paper now, and this is the cover of the Guardian. Who's got this, Steve?
It's me, talking about two-tier things, but not the one you're thinking. Two-tier system, record A-level results, highlight regional divide. Look away now if you don't know the results. It's people in the South are doing better in education. Of course they are. It's the North-South divide. There are loads of ways.
Why is that?
Just because posh people in the South and their tutors and
this is your northern chip on your shoulder, isn't it?
Really is.
It's such a visible chip. It's a huge chip.
Oh, I like chips. But there's another way of breaking down these stats, which I think is appalling, right? They've looked at the gap with boys getting more A-star grades.
Yeah.
They've widened the gap because boys get more A-stars. So instead of just saying, like, oh, congratulations, they found a way to look at, even though girls do better in all other grades, they do better at GCSEs, better at degrees, better at earning after degrees, but boys are doing better at A-stars, well, something must be done.
Yes.
And what they've done is you've got Professor Smithers, who says one reason that boys get more A-stars is because they pick subjects where it's easier to get them in.
Like what?
Maths, further maths, even more maths.
They're easy.
They're really hard.
Physics, maths,
Why
economics.
not just do like drama? And like, you could do like a performance piece.
Where no one really fails, but no one gets an A-star. And that's why they're putting that instead of just saying, like, you did well. But compare this to what happened in lockdown. The girls didn't have the same gap. They were getting just as many A-stars because that was teacher assessment. How is this story not teachers are getting it wrong?
Yeah,
they looked at
they
dished out the grades and just obviously now are wrong and gave too many grades to the girls and off to the boys.
But I think there's been grade inflation for so long now. I don't trust any of it. Like when I started teaching, I was told that if you can get this kid to get an A, and I said, but he's illiterate, and they said it doesn't matter. An A is the equivalent of a D 10 years ago, so don't worry about it. I mean, isn't this true?
People are getting more stupid, and people were quite stupid to start off with.
That's true.
So it is quite a worry. The sort
Surely
of spread.
it's stupider.
Yes, stupider.
The spread across girls and boys, the difference is quite interesting because girls are getting more A's, but boys are getting more A-stars. So this.
What does that mean?
So it means that basically the intelligence spread by gender, more women are in the middle. So women are closer to the median.
There are more male geniuses.
Whereas there are more male geniuses and more male idiots.
This was exactly Camille Parlier's point when she said there is no female Mozart for the same reason there is no female Jack the Ripper. Yeah. She was saying that men occupy the extremes in all of this stuff. Yeah. And it is true insofar as the prisons are full of men. Yeah. Men are the worst. But there's also a few fantastic geniuses up there. So, but I don't think they would be getting A-stars necessarily at GCSE. I don't know if that's
the whole thing of A-stars
level.
bothers me. It's like the amplifiers that go all the way up to 11. Just make A harder. But this GCSE goes all the way to A-star. No, it doesn't.
Why are they going to do A double star, A triple star? Yeah, you're right. A should be the top.
Well, this is why they changed the grading of GCSEs to be 1 to 9, but 1 is the lowest and 9's the best, so you can just keep adding numbers. The problem with A is that there were no earlier letters. But now they've done it so that you just keep adding extra letters on.
But this is so gutting because those of us who got A's at A level when we were at school now look like thickos.
Yeah, but
we didn't get A star.
Only got A's.
Just to reassure you, nobody cares.
That's true.
Nobody cares what grades you got. And you don't even need to get good grades. You can just lie. And you can lie about what university you went to and what degree you got. Just lie. Nobody checks.
I think that's really bad advice. And can I just say, I do not endorse that, because someone someday will check. I had to send my degree certificates through to some job recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're leaving?
No, this was a few years ago. It was a part-time sort of lecturing thing, and I sent off the degree certificates.
Right.
So, that's not true. Anyway, let's move on to this. This is now the front of the Times.
So ministers favouring unions over pensioners. This could be something to do with the fact that pensioners don't have a union, so they haven't paid lots of money to the government.
I suspect there's more to it than that.
So basically, the train drivers' pay deal is going to be agreed, and it's going to cost the taxpayer £100 million, which is quite a lot of money. It's a 15% pay rise, and Labour are refusing to say how much taxpayers will have to contribute towards it. I mean, I think all of it. I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
Taxpayers pay for all
when
the
you
stuff.
Spread it out over everyone, that's not much, is it?
Yeah, well, it all adds up. It all adds up. And also, I mean, the train drivers make the point that in real terms, they've had a 25% pay cut, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, they're doing a job that a robot could do. And the robot wouldn't be fat and wouldn't moan and wouldn't ask for pay rises all the time.
So I suppose with the trains, it's not like you can go the wrong way.
Exactly, there's no steering wheel.
It's all sort of there for you.
Yeah, like you know when you've got a toy train set and you've got the little dials and the buttons controlling the train. You don't need to sit inside the toy train making sure it drives.
Now come in, Steve. I want you to come in and defend train drivers and explain why we need to pay them a lot more.
I think they've done interesting maths here. The ministers have argued that if they wouldn't have found this resolution, then there would have been strikes, and strikes would have cost more than this $100 million in the long run. They've pulled an opportunity costs on this one, which doesn't really make any sense, but it's a nice bit of work in.
But that's like giving in to the rioters or something.
Because it would cost more. Yeah, you see, you really should work for the Labour government. You could do this really well. But the idea of the pensioners, look, I know the pensioners are going to be upset about it, but this is just this is the situation. Pensioners tend to vote Tories, which is why the Tories absolutely love you and give you triple lock plus. You've reaped all the benefits of being the darling of the Tories, and now it's swung the other way. You should have voted Labour more often, and they'd care about it.
Get over it, pensioners. OK, well, I'd like to say we've upset pensioners, we've upset train drivers. Who else will we upset later on? Well, let's first have a look at this front cover of the Daily Star for Friday. What are they going with?
Man-hating ghost dolls terrifying rampage. Owner attacked by paranormal maniac.
I think there's very little we can say about that, other than it's a chilling story. I mean, it will keep me up at night. What do you think, Steve?
Because your dolls, yeah, you want to be careful with all the dolls. I don't have any dolls near my bed. This is why I've never been attacked by a doll.
I have a collection of porcelain Victorian dolls.
I'm not surprised by that.
And at night, with the way the moonlight glints, it sometimes looks like they're alive.
Yeah, that's how every horror movie starts.
Right. Yeah. One of them will get possessed by a serial killer.
Yeah.
And, the rest is history.
This is why I never have a bathroom cabinet with a mirror on it, because you open it up, close it, there's someone there.
Of course.
Don't do it.
I know. Rookie mistake. OK.